The power of connection, a burning fire.
Our world is called the imaginary world. Since, in truth, we have to imagine spirituality. And everything that was given to us, we need in the relationship between us to establish a state where this is how we imagine spirituality. And there cannot be any more spirituality or a different spirituality relative to what we are building in corporeality. We are trying to raise this world into the spiritual world. Of course, it doesn't say anything about our control over matter. Matter seemingly exists. It doesn't exist, but that's already for higher degrees. But at the very least, whatever belongs to relationships between friends, within the framework of and to the extent we can keep those relationships, we have to relate to them, we have to relate to that opportunity of ours to truly draw into those relationships, meaning into our world, the spiritual laws. Just like when kids play, they play together all those games of the grown-ups, and they have accordingly toys for it. They have fire trucks, and they play doctors or teachers, construction workers, and so on and so forth. We need to understand that this is a serious game. It's a serious thing. It's a serious business. And as much as we wish to forcefully build these relationships, for them to happen, accordingly, we awaken the upper force to bring us to that state. And just like kids, however much they understand or make mistakes or work with the externality of the game, nevertheless, they develop from that. The game, or playing, or acting, exists on the animate degree, and if we could see it, it also exists on the vegetative degree, meaning each thing that develops, that grows, has the current state and how the next state is depicted in him and how much it yearns to be in it. And we need to practically bring it into the group. That's why we should not forget, and we should pay close attention to how we behave and how we imagine to ourselves the state where we are seemingly and also not so seemingly are in the spiritual world. Since the world carries on as usual, it doesn't change, but our relationships, turning to one another, making decisions between one another, all those already have the validity of the upper world. Each shall help his friend to come to it, and then we shall succeed. Clear? Okay, if there are no questions, let's get into the lesson.
Again, the Desert Congress, connecting at the central point. Lesson 4, the power of connection, a burning fire. This is from item 1 from Baal Hasulam's letter 13. You should know that there are many sparks of holiness in each one in the group. When you assemble all the sparks of holiness to one place, as brothers, with love and friendship, you will certainly have a very high level of holiness for a while from the light of life. Again, you should know that there are many sparks of holiness in each one in the group. When you assemble all the sparks of holiness to one place, as brothers, with love and friendship, you will certainly have a very high level of holiness for a while from the light of life.
This is the problem, that typically we are used to disregard one another, not pay attention to one another, or maybe not even that. We're simply stuck inside ourselves. These relationships go from one extreme to the other. So if we could imagine to ourselves that the friend contains the complete correct depiction of the end of correction, we will treat him differently. Since if each one judges or flaws according to his own flaws, then I certainly see my own flaws, and in truth everyone is in the end of correction, and it truly is so. Then to the extent that I have a corrupt ego, how much of it is in me corrupt? And I see this vast world with an infinite number of details, all corrupted. I see that how everything was created for me. So, despite of how I see it, I need to imagine that everyone is in the end of correction, that there are sparks of holiness in each and every friend, let alone, well, I'm not even talking about the world, because I didn't reach a state where I can justify and connect with everyone in the world. But at least with respect to the 10, we have to say that this is how it is. And all that is there in front of me are complete righteous. And I see in them my own flaws, and consequently I have to correct myself until they all stand in my heart completely, fully. That's what he says. You should know that there are many sparks of holiness, and when you assemble all these sparks together in one place as brothers with love and friendships, then certainly I reach my end of correction, meaning I have no need for going out and starting to pick into the world and look for more places where I can correct myself. There is no other place, but only in bringing myself to a complete vision, when I see all the friends fully, wholly, according to my level of correction. And I have to correct myself, so they would all appear to me as corrected, as the complete.
Friends, the question about Baal Hasulam's emphasis here, he writes that if we unite in the right attitude to each other, then the level of holiness becomes more important, and the light of life. What does he refer to? To the extent of the level of connection between us, we'll see ourselves and the whole world as corrected. We only need to correct our perception, our vision, not more than that. And it's not that the world is corrupted, it's we are the ones who are corrupted. We have to correct ourselves. So you can say, why do we need to disseminate and all our work with the general public? Why? In this way, it returns to us, and we perform the correction in this way as well. When I have
the ability to correct my vision and work that I do on me, self-work, and there's additional work whereby I can correct myself by coming out of myself and seemingly working to correct the world. When there was the shattering of the vessels, the world is integrated from itself, or consists of me, and I consist of it. I consist of the world and of myself. Therefore, through dissemination and study and expanding the circles, I also correct myself. But in truth, the main thing is the correction that is happening inside a man.
קטע מספר 2 מתוך ספר מאור ושמש, פרשת ויחי.
Item number 2, this is from Maor VaShemesh. The essence of the assembly is for everyone to be in one unity, and for all to seek but one purpose, to find the Creator. In every 10 there is the Shekhinah. Clearly, if there are more than 10, then there is more revelation of the Shekhinah. Thus, each one should assemble with his friend and come to him to hear from him a word about the work of the Creator and how to find the Creator. He should annul before his friend, and his friend should do the same toward him, and so should everyone do. Then, when the assembly is with this intention, then more than the calf wants to suckle, the calf wants to nurse. And the Creator approaches them, and He is with them, and great mercies and good and revealed kindness will be extended over Israel.
My sons have defeated me. What does that mean? Now, to the extent we are coming closer to one another, we also establish the Creator between us, and vice versa. So, everything depends on our movement. Truly, our movements, the movements of the heart, the extent to which we can connect the hearts, bring them closer, and pull them towards one another. To that extent, we are bringing the Creator closer. And it can't be any other way. The Creator is ultimately the sum total of our inclinations, our tendencies to come closer to one another.
Again, number 2, the essence of the assembly is for everyone to be in one unity, and for all to seek but one purpose, to find the Creator. In every 10 there is the Shekhinah. Clearly, if there are more than 10, then there is more revelation of the Shekhinah. Thus, each one should assemble with his friend and come to him to hear from him a word about the work of the Creator and how to find the Creator. He should annul before his friend, and his friend should do the same toward him, and so should everyone do. Then, when the assembly is with his intention, then, more than the calf wants to suckle, the cow wants to nurse, and the Creator approaches them, and He is with them, and great mercies and good and revealed kindness will be extended over Israel.
Meaning, from the beginning of the assembly of the friends, throughout the assembly, all the way through the assembly, we have to check how much are we coming closer to connecting in one desire to one goal, all of us together, and more how our common heart is growing warmer and warmer until we desire to reveal in it the upper light, the Creator. Questions? It's clear. You just need to implement it. What kind of questions can you have here? Only realization, implementation. Next.
Excerpt number 3. This is from Rabash, the agenda of the Assembly 2. In the multitude of people is the king's glory. It follows that the greater the number of the collective, the more effective is the power of the collective. In other words, they produce a stronger atmosphere of greatness and importance of the Creator. At that time, each person's body feels that he regards anything that he wishes to do for holiness, meaning to bestow upon the Creator, as a great fortune, that he has been privileged with being among people who have been rewarded with serving the king. At that time, every little thing he does fills him with joy and pleasure, and now he has something with which to serve the king.
We learn also from elsewhere that the importance of the Creator cannot be greater than the importance of the friend. That's how it is. If it seems any different, it's because we are cheating ourselves, deceiving ourselves. And the correct test is, just as the friends are important in my eyes, the Creator is important in my eyes. There's no other test to perform. This is the correct measurement. That's why. Read it again, please.
Again, excerpt number 3. In the multitude of people is the king's glory. It follows that the greater the number of the collective, the more effective is the power of the collective. In other words, they produce a stronger atmosphere of greatness and importance of the Creator. At that time, each person's body feels that he regards anything that he wishes to do for holiness, meaning to bestow upon the Creator, as a great fortune, that he has been privileged with being among people who have been rewarded with serving the Creator. At that time, every little thing he does fills him with joy and pleasure, that now he has something with which to serve the king.
How can we, in every small deed in the group, how can we make it a great deed if we aim it at the Creator, giving Him contentment or growing the image of the Creator between us? How can we make a great deed from every small deed in the group?
No, let's say
that I come to the gathering of friends. Oh, I don't want to come there. Well, what do I get out of it? How can I grow that act to something that would be the most important? So by that, I'm going to enliven the world, give contentment to the Creator, give life to the friends, correct the soul of Adam HaRishon, and more and more. How can I connect? How can I connect this small action of coming to a gathering of friends or to a lesson with the correction of the world?
Excerpt number 4. This is from Maor VaShemesh, portion Yitro. One should depict his friend as serving the Creator more than him, and author's envy will increase wisdom. By this, he will grow increasingly stronger in the work of the Creator. This is the meaning of each one is burned by his friend's canopy. From the word fervor, by seeing that his friend's canopy is bigger than his, a fire will burn in him, and his soul will further ignite toward the work of the Creator, and he will attain more attainments of godliness.
Meaning, If I see the friend as much better than me, I don't regret it. I'm happy that that's how I see it. How can that be? Only on the condition that I love them. Like with kids. If from this love as a result of our love to them, we see that they're better from us and we get pleasure from it. So how do we come to a state where all of us, a fire will burn in us because of our friend's canopy, a screen of reflected light from his work above his will to receive. How do we see, how do we look at it and envy it with a good kind of envy? So it pulls me to the same degree. If it's a bad envy, I want to bring him down, and a good envy is I want to rise up to his level. So how do we aim ourselves in this way? Go ahead. Read it again.
Number 4. One should depict his friend as serving the Creator more than him. An author's envy will increase wisdom. By this, he will grow increasingly in the work of the Creator. This is the meaning of each one is burned by his friend's canopy, from the word fervor. By seeing that his friend's canopy is bigger than his, a fire will burn in him, and his soul will further ignite toward the work of the Creator, and he will attain more attainments of godliness.
How do we come to a state where I have good envy towards each and every friend? Typically when I look at everyone, I'm not doing so bad. I agree with what is. I agree to stay in it. There's a gap between me and them. They're a little less than me. I can relax then. Not that they're completely not. After all, I'm in a special society, right? But how do I come to a state where it's not each one flaws according to his own flaws? Rather, on the contrary, I see them as great, huge. And where am I? Maybe I can shake them up to take me with them. Do not forget about me. How can I do it? How can I come to such a feeling? How do we do it?
This is excerpt 5 from Rabash concerning love of friends. One must disclose the love in his heart towards the friends, since by revealing it, he evokes his friends' hearts towards the friends, so they too would feel that each of them is practicing love of friends. The benefit from that is that in this manner one gains strength to practice love of friends more forcefully, since every person's force of love is integrated in each other's. We'll read again. One must disclose the love in his heart towards his friends, since by revealing it he evokes his friends' hearts toward the friends, so they too would feel that each of them is practicing love of friends. The benefit from that is that in this manner one gains strength to practice love of friends more forcefully, since every person's force of love is integrated in each other's.
And if it doesn't have this force of love for the friends, what should he do? That's a question. He must disclose the love in his heart. And what if I don't have it? What do I do? Go ahead. So, if there's no love of friends in any one of the 10, maybe they start, or in general, there's nothing. So, such a period of time comes, or something, they have to act. They have to act it out. How do we act this love of friends? The heart for each friend is empty. There's no positive relationships, just nothing, average, like people on the street. So how do I act the love of friends? Well, what are you laughing about, Shamir? That's so simple. How do I act out the love of friends? And each one should do it in the 10, obligated. If you're not acting, you should get out of here. That's the extent to which we are demanding it, because there's no other choice. Without this game, we won't succeed. So how do we play it?
Rav, how do we depend on each other in acting out the spiritual quality that through it specifically we attain love? Let's say love. How much I don't have love towards the friends, but I play it. I play in it, and through that effort specifically, I attain the spiritual world. And by that, I depend on the friends, and the friends depend on me. And that means that we raise the returning light, our request. We raise it upwards. Through dependence on the friends, our vut with the friends. Why through this forceful revelation? It's not revelation of love. It's the forceful revelation of love of friends, so to speak. By that, we establish the returning light and our whole approach to the Creator. And this is right now true to our state. Rav, we learn that Tzimtzum Aleph, first restriction, is never cancelled. It doesn't pass. It doesn't go away. Meaning that we don't discover, a person is not truly shown his state. Rather, everything we have to do is done through faith above reason. This means that I always have to make an effort to exert, to yearn for something I do not attain. And I appreciate my longing and my effort and not my attainment. So showing that I yearn for love, and yearning for love is in my eyes more important than attaining love. Because if we had attained it in vessels of reception, it would all disappear. Just like it happens in our world. Whatever you get, that's it, it's lost. The taste is lost because it's being neutralized. One thing cancels out the other. The pleasure and the lack neutralize each other. And so we work above reason, above attainment. We always long for love, and we don't attain the love, but rather we attain a greater yearning, and in that yearning, specifically, we find peace. And that's where the intensity of connection is achieved, is measured, that we don't attain the connection, but we each time want to attain a greater connection. Please talk about it. Rav, how does our game become a prayer? What's the difference between game and prayer? And what is more effective, game or prayer? Please.
Is it
in our awareness that we play, and do we play without our awareness? When is it a prayer and when is it a play? And when do we maybe think it's prayer but it's actually play, or the other way around? Please. What's the difference between playing and knowing that we're playing, and when we don't know we're playing but we think that it's a serious thing? Go ahead. Rav, so if we realize that we can only be on one or two levels, either inside our ego or above with this game, with the playing, as if we are above our ego. So then how do we determine this kind of spirit in the group, in the 10? How do we set this attitude, this spirit, this atmosphere in our life in the 10? That we are either in the ego or in our play above the ego. How do we determine that? Rav, questions?
What is
a game above the ego? It's clear, but what is a game above the ego?
That you know you're playing.
And inside the ego, I also know that I'm playing.
What do you mean, the game inside the ego? If you're in some quality, then you're not playing. You're maybe lying to others.
When I lie to others and I act as if, it's not called a game?
That's called lying. However, if you raise yourself to a state where you're not in that state yet, you're lying to yourself, basically, because you want to be in a different level on a higher degree, and that's a different kind of game than what you're doing towards the others. Towards the others in this world, we're always playing. It's not considered the kind of play we're talking about in spirituality. In spirituality, you want to raise yourself to a different level of behavior and attitude to reality. And then it's called a game because you're not following your original qualities, but you want to achieve that, to become that. In corporeality, you don't want to achieve anything besides using falsehood to take advantage of others.
When I play in the 10, I see them as great, I show them as great. Inside my ego is this, no?
Right,
so I do it above the ego.
Right, but by them you want to raise yourself to a higher spiritual degree, to bestowing. And so you're not taking advantage of them. You're using them for in a good way. You understand? Yeah.
If I got it, you said that we don't attain love, we attain the yearning for love.
First of all, kli means yearning.
And we don't attain the fulfillment, but the yearning for the fulfillment.
We learn this from the wisdom of Kabbalah, that our fulfillment is yearning. As it says, they lied to themselves. Can you read it?
Then the lie of the grace and the not emptiness of the beauty, meaning during the preparation, the grace and the beauty appears as wholeness and perfection, after which he yearns and longs. But during the correction, when the land is filled with the knowledge of the Creator, then I've seen an upside-down world, because only the fear and the longing are the main wholeness that he yearns for, and he feels that during the preparation they were lying to themselves. So we don't attain the revelation, but only the yearning for the revelation.
I would prefer not to get into that. It's our work. If the yearning for revelation is already a fulfillment, then the yearning for revelation is the kli. And then all the suffering, all of, well, let's call it suffering. All the suffering becomes sweet. This is called mitigation of judgments. Well, we'll come to that, but it's good that it kind of surfaces on the road, that we don't learn it artificially, but rather it appears, and then we suddenly have discernments that we were not so much in before. That's good. Yes.
I didn't understand what is spiritual attainment from this thing.
Spiritual attainment is attainment of my yearning to the Creator. I can't say, I cannot express this.
And attaining the yearning for the Creator allows for what?
It enables you to build the image of the Creator based on your yearning. That this is what you want. I want to yearn. I want to love. Not to devour, to swallow what I love, but just to love. And as it says, and beware of reaching out to Him. Read. Don't think there are things there that you know all of them. So, there are discernments, essentially, that relate to the Creator. It's in Him. Come and see such concepts that we attain from not attaining them. It's one thing and its opposite. It's read it so there's an impression.
Yeah, the right one. In the writings of Baal Hasulam.
Read from the beginning.
From the beginning. The bright one, and from the heavens he shines, there within the curtain of the screen. The secret of the righteous is there made clear, and light and darkness shine together. How good it is to delve in his deeds, but beware not to reach out your hand for him. Then shall you hear him, and so will you meet him in the tower of might, the all-inclusive name. And you shall relish in words of truth, to speak untainted words. And all you will see, your own eyes will see, and not a foreigner's eye.
Meaning there is something that nevertheless doesn't enter our vessels, but somehow we attain it, and we attain it through the yearning that is always kept.
Okay, now try and talk about it in terms of a vessel, screen, reflected light. If I heard correctly, the yearning, the longing, we defined it as reflected light, or choser, the longing.
Let's say so.
So what is inner light?
It's the image that we create. And still, it isn't, the Creator is come and see. come and see. And this is what we attain, and it's limited. Look, there are things here we cannot explain in words. Can't. I also don't know, and what do I know ultimately? This is something we'll advance and see.
And this longing, is it eternal?
The yearning is eternal. The yearning is the kli. Imagine if you just love someone and you lose the yearning. So you lose all attitude to that person. How do you find his beauty, his qualities, all of that, in your yearning to him?
I heard now a difference between lying to the 10, saying the Creator is great, and acting towards the 10 that the Creator is great, because in the acting I'm also deluding myself. So the question is, is lying to the 10 about the greatness of the goal is not good? It's harmful?
Who told you it's not good? You understand why you're doing that, and you overcome. You do it in order to advance all the friends, etc.
Yeah, but I don't have it, and I'm lying. It's like lying in this world. What's the difference?
So I'm telling you that's not how it needs to be, and you're saying, but I don't have it, and it's like in this world. So lie like you're lying in this world. You live in a lie. What can I tell you?
So I don't understand how I need to work towards the 10.
For their benefit. For their sake. That's it. There was someone else here, yeah? Yes, Marcus.
Can you answer the workshop question? You gave us what's the difference between a game and a prayer, and what works more, the game or the prayer?
The prayer, if it's just a prayer without a game, then it's an egoistic address. You know, everyone wants something: money, honor, power, knowledge, etc. If it is if it's a prayer that comes as a result of the game, then this is a correct prayer, because I know I'm praying for what I don't have and what I don't want. I want to bestow? No. I want to love? No. I do all sorts of games that basically lead me to this deficiency, and I'm aware of it. And it's not that I'm just, I'm inspired and I cry, I want it, and so then the prayer comes after the game. And that's the true prayer, because I know that I pray for what I don't want. I don't lack. Yes? Can
you say that even that after the prayer it brings about a more advanced game?
Yes, yeah. I heard what you were saying. It was correct. You have a good grasp.
From the beginning of the workshop, how to arrange in our emotions, our understanding that the friends are great. They're the greatest of the generation, and at the same time, they're my kids. I need to worry about them.
My kids, meaning they depend on me, and they are great because I will not advance unless they are great in my eyes. And the gap between this and that is what I need to always keep.
In response to what Hanoch asked, I wrote down what you said earlier. When I act and I give arvut to the friends, by that I'm raising reflected light. It's a forceful revelation in my resistance to love of our friends. It arranges the reflected light.
Wait, were you saying or asking?
No, it's what you said that I wrote down. Maybe it's not word for word, but it's what I was able to say. To write.
Okay, it's accurate.
So the game is reflected light. Now, in the workshop, a friend who studied psychology, he told us that while he was studying psychology, one day a psychologist came to class and he said, today we're going to learn about game or acting. And he gave everyone cards and they started to play. And then he did like a dirty move and he played against the rules. Everybody got angry. What are you doing? He said, look what happened. We played a game and I lied. I made a small change. And you got really angry. So we played and you really got angry. The action created something truthful. Just as we learn, we act with vitality and positivity and ignorance of the Creator. The person takes it for real. In psychology, of course, wisdom of Kabbalah includes all the wisdoms, but the psychology also proved it in practice that our acting brings about true change, real change in the person. So the game between us is a must for spiritual advancement. And the last thing I want to say, you talked about the first restriction that never passes. You never show a person his true state. You give us in a few lines what is first restriction and what is reflected light, and so between us, and thank God there are words in this special time to talk about spirituality.
Thank you, Chaim.
Rav,
I wanted to ask, can we say, like a formula, that in corporeality there's fulfillment, and in spirituality the fulfillment is the yearning, the longing. There's no fulfillment.
This is a fulfillment.
Thank you.
And this is why it is called eternal. That's why it's called eternal.
Yeah, straight to the point. Why? The concealment reveals the yearning, and the yearning reveals the concealment 620 times bigger, and this is how it repeats itself, revelation and concealment. Why is it so?
It's a matter of degrees. You said it right. It's a matter of degrees, that all the degrees that you fill become the beginning of the next degree, and that's how you rise.
Thank you. We know from corporeality that when you long for something, you can't attain it. At some point, the ego covers it with different, various ugly things to get rid of it, because you know you're not going to attain it. So how here the yearning, the longing continues when you say that the longing, the yearning is infinite, never-ending?
I used to be a 10-year-old, and I was looking at some child, some girl, and I was feeling good looking at her and yearning for her. You understand that, yeah? And if I would delete my yearning, would I enjoy more or less? Would it be better to be without this yearning, or life would be more colorful and beautiful with the yearning?
More with the yearning.
Okay, so wait. So yearning is not negative. It's not negative. It adds a lot to your world.
But you know you're going to attain it.
Who knows? Will you? Won't you attain it? I didn't think about it back then. I was very far from what you're talking about.
And if at some point you could not attain it, you would build something to erase it.
No, it was only pleasant to look at her, think about her.
It's like Rabash says, don't yearn for the king's daughter. You can't attain it. You can't...
That's something else, because you want to get her, but the yearning itself, that being the goal, it can fill a person up. It can fill a person up, satisfy him. It's not that I necessarily have to attain the Creator. It's something that's hidden, as it says. Don't reach your hand out. And then he's revealed in a way in which we don't understand, that fulfills our yearning, but doesn't quench it, but actually increases our yearning. And I enjoy the yearning itself, that I'm really willing, to die for it. That not to die, but that I crave, yearn for it, long for it.
The question is, does this yearning cause you suffering if you don't attain it?
I don't know what you're talking about. I enjoy the yearning. If I yearn for the Creator, I enjoy it. And if I don't, if I have no yearning for the Creator, I'm suffering. This is something that you can understand, right? So what's the problem? You want to live with yearning or without yearning for the Creator?
Of course.
So that's that. And if there's yearning all the time, is that not good?
Very good. That's why I'm asking a question.
And also you have to know that from time to time your yearning will be filled. And you will understand that the yearning is better without fulfillment, and how to work with the yearning without to destroy it. This is actually done in rejection, in Maor VaShemesh. Well,
Чем отличается стремление от намерения? Если отличается...
What is the difference between yearning and intention? And is there a difference in what comes first, yearning or intention?
Yearning is that I've developed a special attitude toward an exalted state. It's a state, all in all, that's what it is. Everything that we can imagine, all in all, it's 10 sfirot in some special form. So yearning for that state, I want to live in the yearning for it. Whereas when I reach the state, the light comes and quenches the chisaron. And then, even though that I received this state in Maor VaShemesh, but still, this is already a degree, and this degree is limited. Whereas when I'm yearning above the degree, then this is an unlimited state.
Oyunun içindeki oyunu nasıl organize edebilirim ki?
How can a person organize himself out of this acting? How can I relate to it? What does it mean that we work out of this game or play?
If I'm an attend, then no problem. Anything that we decide on between us, it becomes spiritual. Because if we decide that this is what we want to act out, this is the kind of relationship that we want to have in order to bestow to the Creator, then it's spiritual.
Florida יש לנו היום.
We have Florida today.
Yes, Rab. When we achieve this this yearning, is it the same as going from this world to the spiritual world?
This
is already a kli for the spiritual world, for the next degree, obviously. Yeah. And besides that, we have Latin America, number 3.
Buen día, Rab. Si dice que el anhelo nunca lo
Good day,
alcanza.
Rav. If we say that yearning is never cancelled in order to reach the Creator, the yearning to reach the Creator is developed in the group. Well, we have the Rav and we have the books and the love of friends. So how can we come closer to this yearning? Or to
the measure to which you determine your attitude toward the friends, the group, not toward each and every friend in particular, but to the sum total of the group of the 10. Then, whether you like it or not, you're directed at the Creator. This the wonder about it, that on the one hand I have 9 friends and myself, but when I want to see them as one, then I come out of the the way I see this world, and when I connect them together through them, I start seeing spirituality. This is how it calibrates me. And this is how we reach the Creator. You have no other instrument, tool, by which you can focus your desires, qualities, thoughts, everything that you have for the Creator, unless in this external instrument, through the 9 friends, that you identify with them and want to see them in a certain way, you build the image of the Creator. Out of them you build the kli, in which that the quality that is revealed in them all in all is called bo'e, come and see, the Creator. That's how we do it.
In this world, yearning, let's say I want a piece of cake, so I look at it. Wanting it seems more tasty than eating it. What's the difference between the yearning and spirituality and this example with the cake?
I just talked about it on the previous question. In corporeality, when you yearn for something and receive what you're yearning for, it quenches your chisaron, and losing the chisaron for whatever you yearned for, you lose the taste, and then that thing disappears. In spirituality, you're in a state where even though you receive, you don't lose the chisaron, you don't lose the appetite, you don't lose the taste. You're in a connection, you love, and you keep loving. You keep loving. It's something very unique that you have to develop. Also in our world. To the measure to which we want to be together, for example, man and woman, when they meet, each of them they get something that they think that's it, and then afterwards they start fighting. Why do they fight? They fight because the yearning for the connection disappeared. And if the yearning for connection is not felt, then the connection itself is unpreferable. And then what can I do? So each of them has as if this complaint, why doesn't the other fulfill me? But what they don't understand is that the fulfillment depends on the measure of your yearning for the other person. And this way in corporeality, we're in a state where society, children, all these things, they force us, but not the yearning. What yearning could there be? And that's how it always is in the ego and in everything. When we get what we wanted, then the yearning disappears and the taste disappears, and either you keep wanting because you have to, or you fear a punishment, or this is how it is, or that society already has these new norms that you can get divorced, that you can leave, that you can do this or that. Everything that we see in this world, it is all because there is no yearning in the will to receive, and there's no social pressure or other commitments.
Can we sum things up and say that yearning is the constant search for novelty?
In our world, yearning for sure. In spirituality, yearning is yearning by the greatness of the Creator, that I get through the environment, therefore everything depends on the environment.
And this is manifested in a way that we always get a new feeling.
If you have the correct environment, meaning that you form this environment, you want to drink from it, the values, the greatness, the yearning that you have there, then of course you're all the time in a new kli. Give it to Hanoch.
Maybe you've just answered, but in this kli of yearning, there's the yearning in the level X, and there's the ability of not to let it pour out, to realize, but to hold on for some time. That's an ability. How do I increase this kli of yearning instead of increasing my ability to hold on?
Holding yourself back, restraining yourself doesn't really have to do with yearning. It is one of the components, but it's something completely different. Again, yearning, it depends on the appreciation for something higher that I do not ascribe myself to that higher thing that I yearn for, and I always want to distance myself from it in order to keep my dirty hands off it, my vessels of reception, and this is defined as yearning.
What's the difference between holding from my dirty hands off and realizing this embrace of the yearning?
I'm not talking about a hug or embracing. These are exalted matters that we still lack a few more vessels on the way. I can't talk about receiving in order to bestow, such degrees. I'm not talking to you about these things yet because it's unrealistic. To bestow in order to bestow, this is what we have to attain. We have to really work on it, and then maybe we'll come to receiving in order to bestow.
In bestowal, in order to bestow, I don't understand what the meaning is of the relation. When we yearn, but it grows, but it's not realized.
Why is it not realized? It is. If I raise my yearning and increase it, and according to my appreciation for the Creator, the greater He is in my eyes, I enjoy that He is ever greater in my eyes. This is my goal. The greater to make the quality of bestowal greater than the quality of reception, and evermore.
How can we turn an action of dissemination to a spiritual action? It has a beginning, it has an end. Some people take part, some don't.
To me, it doesn't matter if there's a beginning or end. What's important is that there's someone, or a group, or the spiritual leader of the group. spiritual manager of the group, that decides that this is how it has to be, and I can subjugate myself, and to the measure to which I do not receive in my vessels of reception according to my own rationale, and I subjugate myself and I accept it above reason, I'm performing a spiritual action.
How does that contribute to the increase of the yearning?
It's simply that I build a spiritual kli, obviously. And I also learn from it how to relate to the spiritual matter, to the Creator, to everything. It's like I'm headed toward spirituality and I have the desire for it, and I have 1,000 doubts and obstacles. Eyal, you hear me? I don't believe you. And that's why I'm actually, I don't know, I'm happy. You have to understand, in spirituality, I'm happy that I have this collision, resistance, that I hate, that I don't feel like it in any way, and to the measure to which I can bend myself. This is my entire spiritual action. How could it be any other way? If it is according to the desire. If it's according to the desire, it's not spirituality. If it's against the desire, then against whose desire? My desire. According to whose desire? The teacher's desire. Then that's something else. Otherwise, if you take someone else's desire, I don't know whose, then you exchange a cow for a donkey, you remain on the same level. But if you take the desire of the group in general or of the teacher, then that is already a spiritual action. And if he doesn't take it, then of course there will be no advancement.
So here too there's the same place to act, to rise above resistance.
We always play, act out, whether we like it or not. In this world we're acting all the time. Only in spirituality, acting becomes truth, because we understand that this is how the game's built. Below the will to receive, above it the will to bestow, and the gap between them is spirituality, the spiritual kli.
So I think this is exactly the question. Let's say there's an action of dissemination, you don't want to go and you're acting out, as if you do. So what's the spiritual gain here?
No, the fact that I come and I'm included with others and I'm included in the action itself and my resistance disappears, it's also okay. I don't have in each and every action to wait until I'll have a desire against it, that I'll hate what I'm doing, and then I'll work above the hate. No. This isn't the way to perform spiritual action, but spiritual action upon the corporeal action, but that I subordinate my ego and accept the control of those that are greater.
And how do we maintain the internal yearning for the connection during the action of dissemination?
By working with everyone, and I know that the action itself, and I don't it doesn't matter what action it is. Like once we used to build these boxes, you remember? Different things that even we did for free, but as long as we can do it together. If you weren't around then we did something like that. So we're happy about it. I don't think that people ran away from it on purpose, but it was interesting for us to work together and excitement and with singing. So the same thing has to be here. Whoever participated in that work can understand. Now, toward the Congress, we have many such things. Afterwards, we'll have Pesach. Afterwards, we'll have Sukkot. different things. It's really to use such opportunities as much as possible to do group work. And that now we have a month left. It's a beautiful month, so it's excellent. Everyone has to see this as an opportunity. Otherwise it'll disappear, and you'll search for it, but it's gone. How will you again bring about these things? I do something else. Clean the entire building from top to bottom and back. There's enough to do. And different other such things. But the main thing is to do it together. Not that there's a certain designated group, and those have to write, and those have to do something else, and the archive. No. Everyone does one work. And this is what this dissemination, this is the opportunity that it gives us now.
Can we continue? How, during this action, let's say a person made it, he overcame, he's doing, physically he's like everyone else. Now, during this action, we want to increase the yearning for the Creator, so it won't fade away. Oh, I did it, okay, cool, I can go to sleep now. How can we increase it?
Every 30 minutes, sing a song, read something that awakens and brings the friends back to the goal. Acting is everything. There's no more than acting and intentionally lying, because we're all in a lie, but a lie over a lie gives you truth. And now we're going to sing a song.
Let us spread this light. Shemati, Shemati. We must all unite. The world is changing, it's changing fast. Economy is crashing. We can't figure out, we don't ask why. Nature is talking, it speaks to us but we don't hear a word. It's a global connection. Its next blow will be much worse. Let's reveal the message. Shamati, Shamati, love will light the way. Shamati, Shamati, I heard a wise man say. Shamati, Shamati, let us spread this light. Shamati, Shamati, we must all unite. Chasing pleasures all our lives, what is the purpose? No satisfaction, on to the next. You tell me, is it worth it? What we long is to be loved, because we're all connected. So let us join our hearts as one. We'll never feel rejected. Shemati, Shemati, love will light the way. Shemati, Shemati, I heard a wise man say. Shemati, Shemati, let us spread this light. Shemati, Shemati, let us all unite. La 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 la, la 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 la, la 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 la, la 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 la, la 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 la, la 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 la, la 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 la, Shemati, Shemati, love will light the way. Shemati, Shemati, I heard a wise man say. Shemati, Shemati, let us spread this light. Shemati, Shemati, let us all unite.